few things have been more puzzling than the action in the steel stocks. Early last year, President Trump slapped a 25% tariff on steel imports to protect our domestic producers from unfair foreign competition, namely cheap steel subsidized by the Chinese government, dumped all over the world that finally ends up here. We figured the tariffs would be a major boon for American steelmakers, but their stocks have actually drifted lower since the announcement. In fact, I gave up on the whole group in October because the darn stocks just weren't working. Too many investors were worried about the impact of a worldwide economic slowdown. However, quarter after quarter, the actual results from these companies tell a very different story. Take Nucor, the best-run steelmaker on earth. This morning, Nucor reported a record better-than-expected quarter, capping off a record year. Company delivered a 13-cent earnings beat off a $1.94 basis, nearly in line revenue up 24% year-over-year. Management gave robust guidance. The tariffs are helping. Demand is strong. Yet while the stock rallied 2.79% today, it's still well off its high. So what's going on here? Let's take a closer look with John Ferriola, the chairman, president, and CEO of Nucor. Get a better sense of the quarter and where his company's headed. Mr. Ferriola, welcome back to Mad Money. Congratulations on an amazing quarter.
Thank you. It was a record quarter for our company. It was a record fourth quarter for our company. And it was a great year. It was a record year.
So let's talk about the cost of the tariffs. When the tariffs were put through, we heard a lot of people saying this is really going to hurt the bottom line of many of your customers. Now, I know you personally are in touch with all of your big customers because that's your style of management. Are you hearing that you hurt them or that the industry hurt them with the tariffs?
Well, Jim, let me tell you that 2018 was a record year for Nucor, but it was also a record year for many of our customers. In fact, it was a very good year for manufacturing in general. When you look at 2018, right now, the manufacturing sector as a whole is on pace to earn its highest profit margin since the beginning of the 21st century. So the manufacturing industry as a whole is doing very well. Our customers are doing very well.
Now, you did mention right at the end of the conference call, I actually just want you to tell our viewers, there are a lot of different lines of business you have. How are they doing? You've got 24 lines. How many of them are doing well?
Well, when we look at particularly going into 2019, we monitor 24 downstream businesses that we sell into. Of those 24, we see 23 of them either remaining steady or increasing as we move into 2019. So we feel 2019 is going to be another strong year for our company.
I want you to talk about your return program because a lot of steel makers have not done that well for their shareholders. Nucor has a different style of management when it comes to the dividend and buyback. What does it look like if things are so robust for shareholders?
Well, we have a policy that we return about 40% of our earnings to our shareholders. Last year, we announced an increase in our dividends of 5%. And along with that, through our share repurchase program, we reduced our share count by about 4%. That's good news for our shareholders.
All right. Now, you're putting up a new plan. President Trump yesterday tweeted that the tariffs have really helped steel companies be able to recoup some of the losses that they've been experiencing without a level playing field. I mean, it's important that everybody realize who've been following Nucor that there were many countries, particularly China, dumped well below their production costs. That seems to be over. Talk about the big win for U.S. that the president's saying because you are building a giant plant in this country.
Oh, we are, Jim, and we're really excited about that project. Our new plate mill will be an investment of about $1.3 billion. It'll be located right in the Midwest, which is the heart of the plate-consuming market in the United States. And by the way, the Midwest is also a very scrap-rich area, so that'll help us also. We're excited about this. This will be the most modern, state-of-the-art mill in the United States. It'll have technological capabilities that will allow us to produce 97% of the type of plate that's consumed in the United States today.
Would you have wanted to, or would you have feared building that plant if it were not for the tariffs?
Absolutely. When you look at the amount of plate that was being dumped into this country 3-4 years ago, it would really cause us to hesitate before making such a large investment. But given what's happened with the tariffs and the leveling of the playing field, we are confident, as I've said to you many times, that if we had a level playing field, we would compete successfully against any company or country in the world. Getting this level playing field has enabled us to make this investment, create these additional jobs. And Jim, as you know, this is only one of the new plants that we're building. We're currently building 2 additional mini mills producing rebar product, and we are currently investing today about $3.2 billion, increasing our earnings capacity through investments in new facilities and organic growth in our existing facilities.
All right. Let me ask you one last question. I just want people to understand the magnitude of this. You said in your release, high strength, low alloy beam. This is one of your product lines. More than doubled in 2018. Using that as an example, how did that all more than double when many people are worried about the slowing economy?
Well, one thing that I would mention is that this is a technological advancement that we've made, producing a very special type of steel that brings benefits to the consumer of steel. This was a product that was not available in the United States previous to our investment in Nucor Yamato Steel. That's another example of the tariffs giving us the confidence to make these investments that end up creating jobs, creating business for American companies.
Sounds like American Steel's back, sir.
It's great to be back.
Well, I want to thank you, and I know you have a record of not laying off employees that many other people would never think of being able to do in the steel business, and I think it's worth calling that out too, sir.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. Okay, that's John Ferrioli. He's the Nucor Chairman, President, and CEO. Yes, the tariffs have helped. It's important to point that out. There are a lot of people saying they don't. You just heard about new jobs coming to this country that would not have otherwise been built. Stay with Nucor. Stay with Cramer. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.